So, Jerome, I want to pick up another statistic, which was around the stress and burnout, right? And we talked about some of those factors feeding into it. I wanted to lean a little bit more into the emotional resilience bit because we see that that's an important factor for employees. What, in your view, should employees be doing to help boost employees' emotional resilience?
A great question. Maybe just one for me. One thing I would like to add on the learning side. For me, learning is also taught with curiosity, and usually say it's something that is not always in the framework or leadership framework, but for me, it starts with that. And the reason why it starts with that is we can learn at any point in time, not only during learning session, but we can learn both in project, as you mentioned, but also in our daily lives. I'm learning every minute, and I think it's just a way of thinking, just to be willing to learn and to capture information. And the reason why it's so important, and we know we discussed a lot together, is when we think about how people think about our solution, they don't compare us with other players. They compare us with other app or tools they use in their daily life. So for me, capturing how people are living their daily life is more important than actually looking deep only at my competitors. So I need to learn every single minute on how people are changing their behavior to adjust my solution. So just go this chapter, but I believe that's why, for me, it's a continuum between personal and professional life where learning is something is more a mindset and a spirit. And actually, we do see more and more demand for actually deep learning session, whether it's inside the work time or outside or personal time allocated to MD or whatever. But people are willing to learn and learn more. So that's really important. That it will make the market better in terms of skill set for sure. Going back to emotional resilience, I think that feels something important because even if, as I mentioned before, as an employee, we strive to try to avoid creating stress, there may be some time where you have to go through some, difficult moments. And the question is how can you be resilient and how you can overcome those elements. And it's interesting, we did a deep exercise with the leadership team of Cigna during a couple of months where we worked hard on having sessions with psychologists and others on how we can improve ourselves and get better. And trying really to measure it and see how are we able to overcome crisis. And actually, as mentioned before by many of us, COVID was a great test to test how resilient we are. And obviously we do, as an insurance player, we are there to cover when the worst is happening. We are there to support members when they are facing the worst moment of their life, and they face a cancer case or a very severe disease. So when you think about our clinicians who are facing those moments, we also need to make sure we equip them not to be affected by the emotional stress of the members they are trying to support, to make sure they provide the support rather than being affecting themselves. So I think for us, it's really something that is absolutely critical to make sure we equip both our managers, leaders, but also our people who are in the front line to make sure they are resilient enough to face those moments. Another dimension is obviously, and I'm sure we will extend the same, we do have people managing complaints. When they are facing complaints, they have to be extremely resilient and in the right way as well, to still be empathetic, customer-centric. So I think, for me, this dimension is critical to be developed across the organization to make sure we address certain topics and challenges the business is facing.